For this Mexican pulled pork, we'll be using a pork shoulder butt roast, also known as a Boston butt or pork butt. So we're going to be cooking it in a circulating water bath after it's been vacuum sealed into a bag. There's a lot of benefits of cooking tougher cuts like a pork butt in this fashion. Slow cooking proteins in a circulating bath of warm water produces a product that is more tender and juicy. The seasoning I use for this pork dish is a Mexican spice mix. It has equal parts of salt and 7 spices, so it's easy to scale it up to the size batch that works for you. It's great in tacos, quesadillas, burritos, nachos, anywhere you want some good, authentic Mexican flavor. Links to all the specialty equipment I'm using in this video can be found on my online shop. I'll be sure to include a link to the recipe in the description down below, and it can also be found at my website, chefmichaelsalmon.com.
I'm Chef Michael Salmon. I've been working in professional kitchen since I was 15 years old. I would like to invite you into my kitchen as I prepare recipes from my 2 cookbooks and my European foodie trips to Italy, France, and Spain. So let's get into the kitchen. So today I'm cooking a pork shoulder butt roast, and we're gonna put some Mexican spice. I've got a Mexican spice mix that I make. It has chili powder, cumin, coriander, cayenne, salt and pepper, of course, garlic powder. And I'm gonna rub that mixture on this. We're gonna put it inside of a shrink wrap bag. We're going to cook it at 68 degrees Celsius, or about 154 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to cook that for 24 hours in the circulator. So, let's get started with this. I'm going to open this bag. And you're going to rub it pretty generously with the spice mix. Put it all the way around. So this will be like a pulled pork. It'll be at 24 hours, it'll be so tender, it'll pull apart, flake apart. And we're going to use it in tacos and quesadillas. So this pork roast is a little too big for my vacuum seal bags. So I'm going to cut it in half. That should make it easier to fit in the bags. Get some of that extra spice rub on there. I've got a Weston vacuum sealer, which I've had for a few years, and it's worked really well for me. And the bags come in rolls. You can get all different sizes and shapes. You can get bags. So because these bags are a little bit narrow, I'm going to cut it into pieces just long enough to hold the roast. And I have that one sealed on one side already, so this piece here will not be sealed on either side. So we'll have to seal this. As you can see, you can put your hand right through it. So, just a tube. So what we're going to do is put this in the machine, close that down, make sure that's real tight, and hit seal. And that'll seal that edge, just like this one has that seal already on it. Okay. And it beeps when it's ready to go. Okay, so now we can take the pork, put that into the bags. It's nice and tightly closed. Hit start. And the start will actually is the vacuum part of it. Vacuums it out, goes through that process, and then it seals it at the end. Now it's going through the seal process. Okay. Okay, so now we're nice vacuum sealed and ready to go with the next one. So if you're new to sous vide, I'm going to go over some of the basic equipment that you're going to need. You can get by with just a circulator and just use a big pot at home. I have this great little container that I got online, and I'll have the link to this in the description down below. It comes with a lid, and then the other components are a Cambro container that fits inside this insulated sleeve, which helps keep the heat inside. And of course, the most important part is the immersion circulator. So this is a Joule, and I'll also put the link down to this below. Great tool, $150 or so through Amazon. It comes with an app. You have to operate this one with an app. There's a couple other options on the market that have the controls right on the unit. This one is controlled completely with the app, and I'll show you that later on. So we're going to get this going, get the pork going in here, and I'll show you how to set that up. Take hot tap water, fill this up about halfway. So I have my ThermaPen, and I'm going to use that to test my tap water, see how hot that is. So we're at about 114 degrees. So we're cooking this at 154 degrees Fahrenheit or 68 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to put the lid on here, drop my circulator in here, plug that in. You always want that to be in water before you do plug that in. Okay, so now my computer is hooking up with the Joule, and it's ready to go. So I'm going to start the Joule. We are currently at 37 Celsius. We are going up to 65 degrees Celsius. So let's start. It's at 42 degrees Celsius now, and it's climbing, it's heating up. So we'll actually get these right in there. These are going to cook for 24 hours. So you just want to make sure they're submerged, and I can get a little more hot water in there. So your circulator works a lot easier when you have it insulated and you have a lid on top of it. If you don't have the lid, you can always just put plastic wrap or foil on top, and that keeps the moisture inside. Okay, so there it is. So 68 degrees Celsius, we're going to set the timer, 24 hours. And there it is, all set, 68 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. Six hours and 56 minutes left. It's holding its temperature at 67.9 degrees. It'll be ready at 2:33 this afternoon. It's looking good. See all the juices in there? So it's really just kind of poaching in its own juice. And the water level's really high. The lid really holds all that moisture, and you can see it condensing on the lid here and then dripping back down inside. So great. We'll come back at 2:30 and pull it out. We've got 9 seconds left, and we can pull it out of the circulator. Let's pull the pork out, and you can see what we've got. You can see the bag is just full of the liquid. So 24 hours it cooked at 68 degrees centigrade or 154 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm just going to open this up, pour out the liquid. Just give you an idea of how tender this meat is. Just pull it apart. So the shoulder does have quite a bit of fat in it. So once it comes out of the circulator, while it's still hot, it's really easy to manipulate and shred apart. I always recommend doing that before you refrigerate it, because once it's refrigerated, it's really difficult to do.
Now that the pork is done, it can be stored in the refrigerator until needed. To prepare the meat for use, heat some canola oil in a skillet. Sear the chunks of meat, caramelizing them on all sides. Remove the pan and shred the pork, breaking up the chunks into thin strips for easier eating. Some bits will be crisp and caramelized, and others will be soft and moist. At this point, It's ready to go into tacos, quesadillas, burritos, over nachos. They can even make their way into sandwiches and frittatas. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and are inspired to recreate it at home. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and I would appreciate a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment below if you have any suggestions or requests for future videos. Check out my website at chefmichaelsalmon.com for recipes, my online store with links to my favorite tools and ingredients, and information on my 2 cookbooks.